Hi, and welcome to What's New in Alfresco One version 4.2. This is part 2, New Share Features. I'm Gary Cox, and I'm a Senior Technical Consultant at Bluefish Development Group. And today we're going to cover some of the new features that are part of Alfresco Share in Alfresco One version 4.2. Right now we're going to go through a quick list of what these features are, and then we'll move into an actual demonstration. And this will actually be split into two videos. We're going to cover a bunch of the features in this part, and then in the second video we'll do a deep dive in some additional features. So 4.2 has an updated interface for Alfresco Share. There's a whole new admin console. There's new views for images, video, and audio. The user trash can is now available in Alfresco Share. Google Doc integration has been improved for this release. There's also better control over how activity emails are received. And there's also now the concept of My Files and Shared Files. And also a way to do quick share if you want to quickly share a file with somebody via email or social media link. You now have the ability to download multiple items. Also, the concept of folder templates has been introduced, and this can greatly speed up the process of creating new subfolders, projects, and so forth. Hybrid workflow has also been introduced, and this allows you to initiate a workflow on-premise and then continue it in the cloud. And finally, you have better control over permissions, more granular control in this version of Alfresco Share. So in this video, we will cover most of these features. However, some will be pushed to part 3, and those are folder templates, hybrid workflow, and then the permission control. Just to allow us to do a deep dive on those, we'll dedicate these features to their own video, which will follow this one. So now, let's move into the demo. Okay, here we are in our demonstration portion of the video. We have Alfresco Share 4.2 running. I've logged in as a user called Bluefish, and I'm on my user dashboard. You can see we previewed this in the previous video, but the interface here looks lighter weight, kind of flatter look and feel than the 4.1 release. There's some of the links have been moved around. We have a control configure dashboard here. Tasks has been moved to the top level, and then there's now shared files and My Files, and we'll talk about those in just a minute. But this basically points you right at your user home. Also, over here we have a new dashlet where you can configure a search. In this case, I just search for the string text and save that search, and then you can get back a list of documents that meet those criteria. Now in my environment, of course, I have lots of documents called test, so I get a lot back. Also, we go to a site. I've configured a couple of additional dashlets. Image preview, which existed before, but now you can point to a specific folder. I've pointed it at an image directory, and you can see I'm just pulling up all the images in that subdirectory rather than gathering images across the whole site. Also, there's a little site search dashlet where you can do simple text searches for content in the site. Just a quick way to do searches rather than going up to the search or advanced search windows. Here I've just searched for the word fortune, come back with my board game Fortune and Glory, and get that back. You can see now also the link to document library has changed. By default, most of these are not enabled, but we've turned a couple of them on. If I go to the document library, you can see the kind of look and feel is a little bit different. Like I said, kind of a flatter look and cleaner look too. Functionally, some very similar, but the look and feel is different. And we're going to go in just a minute into a couple of different views that are new to 4.2. One last thing real quick before we move into that, if you go to the user's profile in Share, you can now get to the trash can for that user. So from the profile you can see what you've deleted and either decide to recover those, or if you need to, delete them. So that's a nice feature. That's similar setup to what was in Explorer previously, but now it's been moved to the profile in Share. So now we're going to take a quick look at some of the new views that are available in Alfresco Share. Right now we are in sort of the standard detailed list view. I have a series of images here in this list. There's a couple of views that are really useful for images here. The first one is a gallery view, and it provides a nice tiled display of all the images in a folder. The nice thing is I'm zoomed all the way in here. You can zoom out. So if you have a lot of images, you can quickly see them, small tiles. This is a really neat feature. I'm going to go back to sort of a middle zoom here. The next view is a film strip view, which lets you kind of scroll through a series of images on the bottom and then pick one you need to see. The nice thing here is that you can actually click on the information button and go to details and actions and so forth for this document. There's a few table views as well. Let me go back to pictures real quick. The simple table view provides sort of a spreadsheet type view. And then within table view, there's like audio and media specific views. Let's do a media view for this one. And so you can see the same concept is still a table view, but the headers have changed with different metadata. And I do have a list of audio. And you can see with audio view, the metadata changes again, and you can get information about each of the audio files. So this is a quick tour of some of the views that are available in 4.2. These are new, and if you work with media, either audio, video, or static images, these can be really useful to you. Now, after looking at views that are available in Alfresco 4.2, we want to talk a little bit about new ways that Alfresco 4.2 allows you to share documents. There's a couple of things that have been added, My Files and Shared Files, for example, that make it easier for users to work on content and then share them with other users. Also, Google Docs integration has been simplified. I'm going to do a quick run through these features as they're new to 4.2. First off, My Files basically points behind the scenes to a user home directory for a user. And we're going to go here, and we're going to see this user's personal files. One of these has been locked, and as you can see, it's been edited in Google Docs. We've left it open in Google Docs, and while it is being edited in Google Docs, the document is locked out. So let's go in now and edit a document in Google Docs and see how easy it is. I'm going to launch this document in Google Docs to edit. Now, the first time you do this, you do have to authenticate with a Google user account. We've already done that, and once it's saved, you don't have to do that again. So here we have a pretty simple document with just one word, test, and we're going to add some content. And then we're going to save that to Alfresco. Now you can see we get version information, and we're going to update this. And this should be saved off in Alfresco. We should see a new version, and we'll be able to look at it in Alfresco now, and the document should not be locked. So here we are, and you can see the updated version, updated by me just now. And my content has been updated. Now, if you have a document that you want to share with other users in a really straightforward way, you can actually move it to shared files. You can see a document's been moved here by administrator, but this is a location for users to be able to share content with other users. There's also another neat way, which is new to 4.2, to share content. You can actually share a preview view of content by clicking on the share link. Once this is shared, you get a URL that you can then send an email, post to Facebook, Google+, or Twitter. And they will be able to see basically a preview version, and if they have access rights, they can get in and download the original document. After a document has been shared, it can be disabled by clicking again, and then simply unshare. So this quick share feature is new to 4.2, and it's a very quick way, rather than downloading a document and then opening up email and attaching it and sending it. This is a quick way. You can simply share and then link and send it off to either email, Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. So these are all new features for 4.2. And although Google Docs integration has been around for a while, it's been streamlined significantly for this release. Before moving on to show you the admin interface, there's a couple of little features that are kind of neat about 4.2 I wanted to demonstrate. The first is the ability to download multiple documents. We select a couple of documents here. You're now able to download as a zip. And these documents will be packaged up into a zip file, which you can then view. This is really useful if you need to download an entire folder's worth of documents. And this is also new to 4.2. The other item is the ability to set notifications on a per site basis. So if I go to my profile and my sites, I'm able to disable activity feeds as needed for any site. This gives me more granular control over the notifications that I see for activity feeds. Both of these are new to 4.2, and they're worth mentioning in our demonstration today. Now that we've taken a tour of Share, we're going to demonstrate some of the admin features. Okay, now that we've looked at the new features of Alfresco Share, we're going to take a look at the new admin console that's provided as part of 4.2. And this is actually a completely separate page from Alfresco Share. You can see up here the path is different. We got the service path here, enterprise, admin, system summary. So it's not really launchable from Share directly unless there's a link there, but it's not part of the Share interface. Now the old Share admin page is still there, and it still provides the ability to do things like manage groups and users. But this new admin console is a greatly expanded view of system information. When you launch it, you start out in the system summary page, which provides a lot of good information at a glance. It's a quick dashboard view of Alfresco and its subsystems. And you can see content store status, you can see amps that are installed, you can see authentication path that is used, clustering status, all sorts of good stuff. Some of these other subsystem information has been available previously. Some of it's greatly expanded. Let's go to search service, for example, and you can see quite a bit of additional information. One new feature is the transactional query options, where you can decide whether CMS queries will try to use the database if possible, and other Alfresco full-text searches will use the database if possible. We'll talk about this more in a later presentation where we show this new feature. You can actually always require database, never use a database, or use database when possible, depending on the nature of the query. So this is really cool. Also, there's still some of the old features like getting a JMX dump, but it's greatly expanded view. It's very nice. A lot of things that you had to do through either configuration or working on the file system is no longer required. For example, you should be able to update your license from the GUI now. You can see what features are enabled on your license. You can get all your license information. So this is all really nice to have. A few of these things are, such as the activities feed and the process engines and so forth, are similar to what was previously available, but a lot of this stuff is new. It's really nice. Much nicer view on authentication here in the directory management. You can fire off synchronization if you need to from the GUI, which is really nice. You can change sys authentication and all sorts of stuff like that. So this is really cool. It provides a lot more power to the GUI that you didn't have before. So this is a really great feature that we wanted to highlight in this video. Thanks for joining us today. Looking forward, you can see what's coming up in part 3. We're going to focus on the following features: folder templates, hybrid workflow, and we'll look a little bit more about permissions in Alfresco Share. And remember, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all our videos. Our channel is Bluefish TX, Texas.